All right, guys, so I'm here with my boy, Fergus. This guy went from 0 to now, like 15K in quite short period of time. And he's now within Miami with us. And if you just want to introduce yourself and kind of give us a quick rundown on what you do, where you're from, and kind of your story.
Sure. So I'm from Vancouver, Canada, British Columbia. My story is, I can just give it to you from the start. I basically finished up university, got a bachelor degree in design, got out of there, and they promised me a whole bunch of jobs, and every job I applied for, I did not get, and there just wasn't a lot going around. So I was working in a coffee shop at the time, and this was a year and 3 months ago, so last January. And I remember I was cleaning the toilets in this fucking coffee shop. And I always remember it because I cleaned them and I go out and then the boss comes in. He goes, "Yo, whoever cleaned those toilets, you did a fucking horrific job." And at that point, I was like, cool, put into my notice, figured some shit out. I basically sat down and was like, all right, what can I do to make money? I had another friend who is doing SMMA. He's doing it very well. So I reached out to him and was like, yo, what is this shit that you're doing? And he was like, it's this little magic thing called SMMA, or social media marketing agency. And so I got into it and I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to try and do this all myself. I paid $1,000 to a guy called Daniel Beltran. Dan, the marketing man, you're a G. I love you, Dan. Dan basically taught me how to do all the stuff out the gate. Now, I still didn't know what the fuck I was doing, so I made no money, but learned a bunch of sales skills, and I did that 4 or 5 months. I had to pick up another part-time job at a liquor store, and I was basically doing nothing up until that point in terms of the online business. And then I sat down and was like, all right, I have to take this seriously somehow. So I joined another mentorship where I met this guy and watched him scale tremendously. And then come January, I sort of realized I was making, very little progress again after making a much more progress, and then it all, petered off. So then I hit up Kiwa and was like, hey, what's good? I see you're starting this mentorship sort of thing. Put me in, coach. Taught me also some sales skills, mindset stuff. Really, it's all in the course. So if you want access to it, go buy it, man. But taught me a shitload more outreach stuff, how to hire appointment setters. Marco here is the king of service delivery, at least in my niche. I run a agency for roofers, remodelers, contractors, kind of you name it. I'm all over the place right now. I've got a bunch of different clients, but majority being roofers. So Marco helped me pattern the actual service delivery side of things, so I actually get my clients good results and they don't churn like crazy, which was probably my biggest bottleneck.
And that's what most people also overlook.
Yeah.
They think they just focus on outreach, and they don't even they don't dedicate any sort of time to service delivery and just lose all the clients.
Yeah, because that's what I was doing. Because again, I knew how to do the outreach, not as efficiently and as optimized, but I knew how to do the outreach. I knew how to do the sales, but I put no time into learning how to actually run ads. And so the problem was I was selling a skill that I didn't know how to deliver on.
You're effectively scamming at that point.
Well, scamming's a strong word because I did get clients good results.
Okay.
Not great. Well, good is a stretch. That's a strong word, but I got them decent results. Okay. But they would every single one of them churned, just because it wasn't sustainable for their businesses. So they helped me essentially structure my offer, make it so I could actually deliver, and taught me how to optimize my outreach by hiring setters, where to get them, how to train them. Yeah. Essentially just implementing SOPs and all that good stuff. I know I kind of rambled there for a little bit.
Nah, you're good, man. You're good. And I guess if you could kind of sum up where you were before you joined the mentorship compared to now, what would that be?
To be honest, I'm pretty similar. However, the week I've been in Miami has definitely changed a lot. Yeah. Because it was always a matter of time for me. I always knew it was going to be fine. But like I had the sense of urgency, but you know, when you're sitting in a room, you know, clocking in and clocking out every fucking day, your goals don't really seem as attainable. And then when you're around a bunch of people who are making a shitload of money and you're in, you know, a very expensive city and you're going and doing stuff, it all feels very much within reach. And I always thought it was kind of cringe. I was like, oh, wealth frequencies, get the fuck out of here, like, whatever. But it is true, like, you hang out with people who are doing way better than you and you just will do better, especially when you're in person with people as well, which is why I think these client retreats, trips, whatever you want to call them, are so important, and why I literally made $11,500 in the last week, US, and I'm from Canada. So that's like $17,000 Canadian, which is pretty insane. I think the last 2 weeks have changed me a lot. I think there's a lot more self-belief. I think there's a lot more general confidence. I feel better when I'm speaking to clients.
Amazing. Because the thing is too, the reason why I was able to scale pretty quickly too, when I was kind of like still starting out, was because I also went on a trip like this to Greece, right?
A Greek trip, yeah.
Yes. Because you just meet so many sick people. That's where I met Kiwa. You know, you just make so many good connections, and it just, you know, does good for you, right? But besides that, I mean, obviously you were in other programs and everything like that before. What would you say, what's different about what we have going on here? Like, compared to, you know, maybe things you heard, you know, I don't know, like, just in general.
So in general, I think, and I mean, all the programs I've been in have been good. I think the main difference, though, is because it's a three-man show, everyone's better at different things. And you're going to have way more information when you have three people versus one person. Because, again, I was in 2 mentorships before this. Both of them were just, you know, run by one guy. Not the same guy for both mentorships, but there was just one person. And both of those guys were great. They taught me a shitload, but it's just about, I think, if there's 3 people versus one, it's just really good. Again, like, I'm very much a person who, if I need to know something, I'll pay for it, and I'll pay to learn, because at the end of the day, that's all you can really do, is if you know someone who's doing better than you are, doing the same thing, pay for it, right? You know, there's no such thing as a free lunch, right? So it is just that, like, if there's knowledge to be had on the table and you know where to get it from, find out a way to get that, especially if it benefits you. If there's things to learn and you know where to get them from, it's always worth paying for, because you will learn faster. And if you have the knowledge faster, then you can implement it into your business faster, into your life faster, whether that's, you know, a business coach, mentor, a personal trainer, anything, right? Like, if you want better results, instead of stumbling through the dark, you can get better results just paying for it. I mean, stumbling through the dark works up to a degree.
I did that for 2 years.
It works up to a degree. I did it for 6 months.
Yeah.
But
it sucks.
Then, you know, you hop into these programs, and every single program can teach you, you know, something. There's something to be learned from everyone. But I think the main thing with these guys is because there's 3 of them, there's triple the times amount of knowledge and game, if you will. And you just learn a lot more. And it's all very refined down. I know all 3 of you have your own backstories, and you've done it all 3 of you have been doing it for a while. So there's, you know, 6 years of combined knowledge split. So it's like, there's a bunch more shit in there. So I think that's the best answer I can give. I know it's super rambly.
It's all good. And the good thing about this is we still actually run our own agencies. Most of these big gurus haven't even run an agency in like 5-6 years. We still do it till this day, so we know what works and what doesn't, right? But
the meta is always shifting as well, right? Like, so I mean, even just for an example, like literally the A2P thing.
Yeah.
Like, absolute shit show.
Yeah.
You have 3 guys who are, you know, running agencies. They're going to try and figure it out for themselves, and then you find the best and most optimized way to do it, and you put it in.
Right.
I think that's just why that's why you guys are so good, because there's literally 6 years of combined knowledge. All 3 of you are running agencies, so you know what works, you know the meta, and shit, man, you're making a lot more money than me, and you're doing better than I am, so that's why.
Let's get it. And he made 11K last week. Let that sink in.
0.5.
Oh,
0.5.
yeah.
Throw the
let's
500 in there
Let's
as
go.
well.
So this month might be what, like 15, 20K?
Yeah, I think a decent estimate would be between 15 to 20 grand.
Fuck yeah.
American. For all my Canadians watching, do business in the States, you make more money.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome. No, that's sick. That's sick. But yeah, I do got a coaching call actually right now, so we do got to cut it. But if you want to scale your own agency, if you want to start one, if you want to just scale it, there's a link in the description. Book a call. We'll see if there's a fit, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.
Later.